What you want to do? What you want to do? You from here?
Yeah, I'm from here. Yeah, I'm from here.
All right, so.
Oh, hell, y'all, let's go.
What's up with you?
I've already made my peace with it, because I know their energy. I was their energy. I know exactly how it's going to turn out.
Trying to coddle him for. Let the man walk off, have some time to himself, sit down, soak it up, and come up with what he needs.
Welcome back. The world isn't just watching, it's holding its breath. King Harris, T.I.'s son, lies fighting for his life in an ICU after what sources call one of the coldest, most ruthless prison hits we've seen. This wasn't a scrap in the yard, this reads like a planned execution, and the family stands shattered behind the glass as machines hiss and monitors flash. It feels ripped from the darkest corners of rap drama, a scene so raw it hurts. Imagine tubes and wires, his chest barely moving, guards and gossip buzzing in the background while the city waits for answers. King stopped being just an inmate the moment headlines found him, and now every camera and keyboard is hunting for the truth. He's the eye of a storm, ripping through the streets, media, and music world all at once. Fans flooded the Atlanta hospital with candles and prayers, chanting King's name all night. Social feeds exploded. Hashtag pray for King and hashtag justice for King trended worldwide within hours. But behind the hashtags lies a far scarier story, and people aren't satisfied with the official line.
What you want to do? What you want to do? You from here?
Yeah, I'm from here. Yeah, I'm from here.
All right, so.
Oh, hell, y'all, let's go.
What's up with you?
This wasn't a random brawl, it's looking like a setup. A hit engineered to silence him for good. Sources claim the prison cameras mysteriously went dark the instant King was attacked, leaving no footage and no answers. The silence is deafening and stinks of conspiracy. A leaked nurse's recording tore through socials when she whispered, "This wasn't random, this was a setup. Someone wanted him gone. My son think I ain't." Those words lit a fire, pushing the theory that King was targeted, not just attacked. People are asking the million-dollar question, why? Who wanted King erased from the map? Some say he stumbled on prison secrets, corruption, rogue guards, contraband deals, moving in shadow. Others say this wasn't about him at all. It was a message to T.I., a warning to show that fame and money don't buy protection when bigger forces are in play. The plot thickens and the city wants answers now. Then comes the darkest theory yet. This wasn't prison politics at all. This was personal. A hit ordered from the outside, set up with precision so King would be cornered at his weakest moment. The Harris family, once seen as untouchable, now looks like the target of a carefully staged takedown. Tiny, his mother, collapsed in the hospital hallway, screaming through tears, "Why my baby? Why him?" That raw pain was caught on video and spread like wildfire, turning one family's heartbreak into the world's grief. Meanwhile, T.I., the mogul, the rapper, the legend, looked stripped of all that power. Outside the ICU, he was no longer the boss, just a father begging for his boy's life. Cameras caught him sobbing, voice breaking, saying, "I don't care about justice, I just want my boy to live."
I've already made my peace with it, because I know their energy. I was their energy. I know exactly how it's going to turn out.
Millions felt that pain, but some also wondered, was there more to the story? Because while the Harris family was drowning in sorrow, new evidence hit the surface, and it was ugly. Whistleblowers claimed prison staff were ordered to look away. Cameras didn't malfunction, they were turned off. If that's true, then the very people sworn to protect justice opened the door for murder. Think about it. The guards weren't just bystanders, they might have been part of the setup. Inside that ICU, time became torture. Doctors whispered that King might not survive the night, warning his family that the next 24 hours would decide everything. Each beep of the machine felt like a countdown, every second a reminder that life could slip away in a blink. And still, the world kept asking, why him? Was this about prison corruption? Was it music industry beef? Or was it revenge aimed squarely at his father, T.Y.? Theories stacked higher and higher, but no clear answer ever came. By the time night bled into morning, Atlanta was in chaos. Crowds swelled from dozens to hundreds outside the hospital. Vigils, prayer circles, and angry protests demanding answers. One viral clip captured a furious fan screaming at officials, "Y'all protect criminals, but you couldn't protect a child in your care."
Trying to coddle him for. Let the man walk off, have some time to himself, sit down, soak it up, and come up with what he needs.
That rage summed up what the streets were feeling. The system didn't just fail King Harris, it betrayed him. And just when the family thought things couldn't get worse, the nightmare deepened. Reports leaked that doctors told Tiny and T.I. King's brain activity was weakening. He wasn't brain dead, but the chances of permanent damage, speech loss, paralysis, even memory wiped out were terrifyingly high. When the news hit, Tiny collapsed in tears, screaming, "They wanted to kill my baby! They wanted to destroy us!" Her cries echoed through the sterile halls. captured on shaky phone footage that spread like wildfire. Not long after, another gut-wrenching moment shook everyone. T.I. being escorted out of the ICU, breaking down, shouting, "If my son don't make it, the world gonna burn." Those words lit up the internet within seconds, pulling waves of sympathy but also raising chilling questions. Was this just a broken father crying out in grief? Or was he dropping hints that he already knew who was behind the attack? Speculation exploded when a supposed inmate recording leaked online. In the grainy audio, a nervous voice claimed, "We were told to make it look like a fight, but the target was King. They wanted him down no matter what." No one can confirm if it's real, but the clip went viral in minutes, sparking outrage worldwide. If true, it would confirm the darkest fear. This wasn't prison chaos, it was a calculated hit disguised as a scuffle. Some blame rival gangs inside the walls, while others whisper about old enemies from T.I.'s past pulling strings on the outside. Either way, it makes one thing crystal clear. King Harris wasn't unlucky. He was marked as the target from the start. And just when people thought the nightmare couldn't cut deeper, another bombshell dropped. Unconfirmed reports claim King flatlined during the night, only to be pulled back by doctors in a frantic, desperate push to save him. Outside, cameras caught the aftermath. Tiny screaming uncontrollably, T.I. dropping to his knees, begging the heavens to spare his son's life. In one heartbreaking clip, T.I. cried out, "Lord, take everything I own, just don't take my boy." That raw plea shattered the internet, turning the Harris family's private pain into one of the most public heartbreaks hip-hop has ever witnessed. Overnight, hashtag Save King exploded into the #1 trend worldwide. But along with the prayers came conspiracy theories darker than ever. Some fans whispered this was karma, others swore it was revenge, and a few even claimed the Harris family was cursed. Then a cryptic Instagram account poured gasoline on the fire, posting, "The sins of the father fall on the son." This was never about King, it was about T.I. The account vanished within hours, but the screenshots live forever, and they sent shockwaves across the internet. Was this a chilling message from someone connected, or just another troll feeding the chaos? Nobody knew for sure, but it pushed the speculation into dangerous territory. Celebs couldn't resist jumping in, turning the tragedy into a circus of posts and hot takes. Rappers and producers flooded timelines, some blasting the prison system, others pointing straight at T.Y.'s long list of enemies. One heavyweight producer even wrote, "When you play with fire, sometimes the flames reach your family." That single line had fans digging up old beefs, dissecting rivalries, and wondering if decades of rap wars had finally come crashing down on King's head. Suddenly, King's fight for life wasn't just about a young man in a hospital bed. It became tied to generations of grudges, drama, and alliances that hip-hop never fully escaped. And while the internet spun wild theories, the Harris family was living a nightmare on every front as security inside the hospital was ramped up after threats surfaced online. Outside, protesters cranked up the heat with chants and signs reading "Justice for King" and "The system failed him." And then came the breaking point. T.I. stormed out of the hospital, raging at the cameras. With his face swollen from tears and his voice shredded with pain, he screamed, "If y'all don't protect my family, I'll burn this whole system down myself." It wasn't the superstar the world once knew. It was a father on the edge, ready to risk it all. That moment went viral instantly, splitting fans between those who saw a broken man fighting for his son and those who feared he was declaring war on forces bigger than him. And then came the gut punch no family should ever have to face. Doctors allegedly told the Harris family that if King didn't show signs of recovery soon, they might have to consider taking him off life support. That unthinkable conversation shattered the family. Tiny fainted right there in the hallway while T.I. erupted in fury at the doctors, screaming, "You don't get to decide when my son's story ends." The family's pain spilled into the streets. Supporters chanted louder, candles burned brighter, and social media erupted with rage and unity. Then came the image that broke hearts across the globe. T.I. gripping his unconscious son's hand, whispering, "Daddy's right here. I'm not leaving." That leaked photo is already being called one of the most heartbreaking images in hip-hop history. But the questions just won't stop. Who really wanted King Harris gone? Why were prison staff allegedly told to shut off cameras and look away? Was this a warning shot aimed at T.I. by old enemies? Or was King dragged into something much bigger than anyone imagined? As doctors fight to keep him alive, the world is waking up to the fact this isn't just another messy headline. This is a cultural earthquake shaking Atlanta, shaking hip-hop, and shaking every fan who grew up watching the Harris family shine. With King's future hanging by a thread, one truth is clear: this nightmare is far from over. The sun rose over Atlanta, but for the Harris family, it felt like the darkest day of their lives. Inside the ICU, the beeping of monitors echoed like a ticking clock, each sound a reminder that King's fate was still in limbo. Nurses moved in and out like shadows, faces grim, while doctors whispered in hushed voices the family wasn't meant to hear. Outside, the hospital turned into a battleground of emotions. Fans cried, prayed, and protested all at once, clutching posters of King's face, lighting candles, and shouting his name into the night sky, begging for a miracle. Atlanta wasn't just worried. The city was burning with pain and rage, frozen still for a boy who should never have been in this position. And then the nightmare grew heavier. Leaked hospital reports revealed King suffered devastating trauma to his skull, possibly from a padlock stuffed in a sock, a brutal weapon often used in prison attacks. Witnesses inside the prison claimed guards stood by and didn't move until it was too late, sparking suspicions this wasn't neglect at all, but intent. It's like they wanted him to suffer, one insider said, and that single line spread everywhere, pouring gasoline on the outrage. Outside the hospital, protesters raised signs screaming, "The system failed King and protect our kids," accusing officials of covering up the truth. Suddenly, this wasn't just a fight for King's life. It became a fight for justice. Thousands demanded answers, but officials stayed silent, only fueling the fury. And as if the pain wasn't already unbearable, doctors delivered another crushing blow in private, warning the family that even if King survived, he might never fully recover. Brain damage, paralysis, the chance of him never being the same again hung in the air like a death sentence. Tiny's cries ripped through the hospital corridors after hearing those words, collapsing into the arms of her daughter. Meanwhile, T.I. stormed past cameras looking like a man right on the edge, his voice shaking but his eyes blazing with rage as he shouted, "If y'all don't protect my family, I'll tear this whole system down." That raw fury caught on film went viral in seconds. Some fans saw a broken father beyond repair, while others saw a man gearing up for war against the forces that tried to destroy his bloodline. Either way, his pain became the world's pain, and his fight turned into a symbol of something far bigger than just one family's tragedy. Online, the theories wouldn't stop. Some fans swore this was revenge tied to T.I.'s old beefs. Others whispered about powerful industry figures wanting him crushed. And the darkest whispers claimed this had been orchestrated years in advance. A mysterious rapper even posted, "Y'all don't even know half the truth." That single line sent chills across the internet, leaving everyone asking, what truth is still being hidden? This wasn't random. This was planned. That single cryptic statement lit the internet on fire, fueling endless debates. Was King's ambush tied to hip-hop politics? Was it street revenge? Or was it prison corruption at the highest level? Nobody had the answer, but everybody agreed on one thing: this wasn't normal. This was bigger, darker, and dirtier than anyone first imagined. As the day bled into night, Atlanta became a city of prayers. Vigils blazed on every corner. Crowds outside the hospital swelled larger by the hour, and chants for justice shook the air. Inside, security around the Harris family tightened after fresh threats surfaced. Tiny clutched her son's hand, whispering desperate prayers, while T.I. refused to leave his boy's side. Then came the photo that broke the world. I bent over King's hospital bed, whispering in his ear, "I'm not leaving until you wake up. Daddy's right here." That haunting picture was called the most heartbreaking image in hip-hop history. Fans printed it on posters, news stations broadcasted it non-stop, and online it was stamped into legend. The moment T.I. was stripped of fame, stripped of power, seen only as a father begging for his son's life. But the darkest question still hangs heavy like a storm cloud. Will King Harris survive? Doctors warned the next 24 hours would decide everything. And if the unthinkable happens, if King doesn't make it, this won't just be the loss of a son, it will be the collapse of a dynasty, the end of an era, and one of the most devastating chapters hip-hop has ever faced. Already, whispers of curses, revenge, and betrayal circle like vultures overhead, and the silence from officials only makes the suspicions grow louder. Was this truly prison violence? Or was it a setup designed to break T.I. through the one person he loves most? The full truth may never come out, but one thing is certain. This tragedy has shaken hip-hop to its core and left millions begging for a miracle. So now the Harris family waits, Atlanta waits, and the world waits. Will King Harris open his eyes and fight back from the edge, or will this be remembered as the night hip-hop lost its prince forever? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to stay in the loop with all the latest tea. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, and I'll catch you in the next video.